when you went on a date with me on the first date and we kissed, but then you went on a date with Melissa the second date and you said you hadn't had a kiss like that in a really long time, but you just kissed me the night before.
All I can say is that that is what I was really feeling. I mean, my honest connection that I had with Melissa that next night was different. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
No,
I'm not trying to say that.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. I thought Jill and I were cool, right?
What did you really think of that? We, of course, saw that on the Women Tell All episode this past Monday. What did you think when Jason responded like that?
Well, I don't know really what I expected him to respond. It was one of those things that I think all my friends and family wanted me to ask him, like, dude, like, you had just kissed her the night before. So when they said, what are you going to say to him? I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to say to him. And they're like, well, ask him about the kiss. And I knew it would make him feel uncomfortable, so I kind of wanted to, rough him up a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't really care. I didn't really care what his response was, but I knew I kind of wanted to grill him.
Good on you. That was good TV. Yeah. If you're just tuning in, this, of course, is Jillian Hare's second runner-up in The Bachelor. We are all such huge fans.
Thank you.
Huge fans. We're so happy to have you on the show. And the first question I got to ask you is, how has life truly changed post-Bachelor?
Honestly, like I've said, life hasn't changed that much. I came back to work. I work for Browns. I do design for them. I came back and it was just like bam, 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 get to work. Lots of text messages from friends. The one biggest thing I'll have to say how this impacted me is, you get busy in life and you forget about old friends or you forget about people up in northern Alberta. And I have been reminded how lucky I am to have like family and friends, no matter whether I've done an embarrassing thing, or an amazing thing. Just so many people have gotten in contact with me. So for me, it's gotten me in touch with a lot of old friends.
I'm so fascinated by this whole social experiment that is The Bachelor, because I look at it, falling in love is a difficult thing.
Yep.
And then we say, we're going to put cameras around you, and this is going to happen. Now, how long did it take to tape The Bachelor?
I was there for almost 6.5 weeks, and I think in total it takes 8 weeks. So I pretty much was there the whole time.
So were you surprised at your own reaction of how you fell in love with Jason so quickly?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know why I really went on the show. Part of me wanted the adventure to see really as well, what is this? How do girls fall in love so quick? And then the other part of me, really wants my fairy tale ending. And I knew in the back of my head, well, Jill, this really isn't the realistic way to go about it. Yeah. But the other part of me was just like, okay, let's go and see what happens. When I found out it was him, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if he's my type. So I really didn't think I was going to fall for him.
And then what happened? What changed, Jillian?
Oh, man. Well, I think I'll have to give credit to the show in a way, because they really make sure that they bring out, they cast people that are going to be good for him. And they cast some drama, But I think in this scenario, we had a lot of things in common, and they make sure they get you together and they get you talking about things that that you like, and before you know it, you're like, oh my gosh, we've got so much in common, and you have such great conversation. And then you also know there's 25 other girls back at the house, so you want to kind of speed things up. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden before I knew it, I was falling in love with the guy.
This is so wild. I mean, I look at this, obviously during the show, there's a lot more isolation. How did you feel when you're watching the show, seeing Jason make out with all these other girls, and then realize he was having these connections with people other than yourself?
Well, I joked about this on Ellen. I said, this feels like growing up in northern Alberta. Making out with a guy, and then next minute later saying, hey, wait a second, that's my boyfriend over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, watching the show now, while I was taping, I knew that he was with other girls. But I really thought I had the cat in the bag, so I was never worried about it. And part of my confidence is what got me so far. And I really thought, this guy's great for me, and I'm great for him, and he'd be crazy not to pick me. So
he is crazy.
Thank you.
How could he do it? Jason, how could he do it?
And but when I see him on TV now, I realize he's got amazing connection with Melissa, and Molly's not that bad herself. Yeah. So now I can kind of see, it makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's part of what I signed up for.
It's part of the gig.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you're going to hang with us for a little bit.
Okay.
More to come with Jillian. We're going to find out her chances of being the next Bachelorette and see what you look for in your dream guy.
Oh, wow.
Stay tuned for that right now. A dreamy man himself, so he thinks. Mark Doherty with